So today we're going to look at replacing our idler pulleys, the traveling pulley assembly, and the idler pulley up near the axle of the fan there. We've got all our tools there. And so to get started, we're just going to turn the ergon over and we'll pull the fan cage off with those 4 skinny bolts. So now that we've got all 4 of our bolts removed that hold on our fan cage, we'll go ahead and remove the side of it just like that by lifting straight up. We'll set it aside for now. And then this little nut right in there is what we want to remove. Best if you have the actual size socket, but we can get away with using these channel lock pliers here. We'll just go ahead and lift straight up to remove our fan and set that aside. And so here we've got our axle that our fan rides on, and that little screw right there is one of the screws, there's the other one, that holds on this little axle there for our idler pulley that we're going to replace first. So we'll go ahead and use our Allen key to remove our little low bolts there. And before we pop that axle free, we'll actually use the handle of our pliers there just to snag that chain so it doesn't go flying on us since it is under tension. We'll look around the other side here, remove this guy. Get our other screw removed from there. And so now we can slide off our spacers, slide off the broken chain idler pulley, the other broken part of it. We'll slip the new chain idler pulley on wherever it went to. We've got our spacers there. Alright, so we'll take our chain idler pulley, slide that on there, put our chain through. We could use the same spacers, but we've actually got these new plastic ones, and since we keep these ERGs outside, anything plastic and not metal sounds good to me, so it won't be prone to rusting. And while we got this all apart, we're going to dab just a little bit of chain oil on there before we assemble it all together. So we'll slide this guy down into place. We're going to tuck it underneath our bungee cords. So the bungee cords, if you can see that, goes just over top of the axle that the idler pulley rides on. Get it all. And there we go, all lined up. Get our other bolt in place. And not a bad idea if you want to use a little bit of thread lock on the threads of these bolts as you're putting them in, just to make sure they don't come loose over time. It'll save you the headache of ever having to redo the same job just because something came loose. There we go, nice and snugged up. That's taken care of. We're going to go ahead and get our traveling pulley next. So we'll start off by reaching in, grabbing our chain, pulling that forward, and getting our pliers underneath the bungee cord there, take a little bit of strain off of this chain. Now we can see our traveling pulley assembly here, and we're just going to swap it out. Basically, the bungee cord goes through there. Grab our second pair of pliers here. Undo this bolt, and you can see when I pull the bolt out here, how this chain is actually connected. It's got these 2 little hooks, so to speak, on it, and they kind of combine together there to make one little nice bolt hole to go through. Got that guy undone. Go ahead and get our other part of the chain undone. Rather than going to the work of pulling out a perfectly bungee cord, we're just going to go ahead and swap our idler pulley over to this older traveler housing, which is totally fine since we just want to replace that anyways. We'll go ahead and grab our chain here. Make sure that we got it oriented the right way. And slide that on through there. Put our pulley with the axle, and the axle's already been dipped in a little bit of chain oil. Drop down there so it'll spin more freely. Slide that into place. Go ahead and get our bolt through there. Put your nylock nut on there. And snug it up. Now we can go ahead and replace our bolt for our chain to hold that in place there. Get our nylock nut on the other side. And we'll go ahead and put our bungee cord clips back on. They just clip onto this axle that slides through here that these black pulleys are actually riding on. They clip on the sides of those black pulleys, so on the outsides. There we go. Got our bungee cord back under tension. Got our chain on there. Go ahead and pull it in a little bit. Looks like it travels nice and smoothly. All looks good. We'll go ahead and flip it back over and get our fan put back on. If we're going to go ahead and replace the chain right now, then we would want to not put the fan on yet, but we'll go ahead, put everything back together, and then in the next video we'll show you how to replace the chain and sprocket. Everything's installed. We'll go ahead and flip our ERG back over here, get our fan reinstalled. And there we go, we got our fan cage cover put back on. We still need to put our foot back on, which is just these 4 bolts right here. And once we get that put back on, we're all set to go. We can go ahead and, even though we don't have the foot on the ERG right now, we'll go ahead and just test it a little bit. That's perfect. We've got our brand new chain, brand new sprocket, and all new idler pulleys. And it sounds great. So check out some of our other videos. We've got plenty more on how to replace this guy, which is what we're going to do next. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below or shoot us a note on the website. Thanks for watching and good luck.